A very good morning, people of the internet. Karibuni sana from wherever you're watching me from. I'm rest assured you're enjoying a beautiful morning, a beautiful evening, and a beautiful day. In the previous videos, I was talking about what really happens after someone has just been told or received the news of the loss of their loved one. Usually, many a times, people don't inquire what happens next to these individuals, what happened next to these men. For example, many a times we just call to, hey, are you okay? What really happens afterwards? How are they taking care of the kids? If the kid survived, kid or kids. Has any one of you ever found time to call on these people or to check out, like, how are they really doing? How are they really faring? So, in today's topic, I'll be handling this theme or this header in why maternal mortality happens and the facts that every man should know. Most of the causes that can be avoided or are caused by human error is when particular couples or a particular lady or a particular woman does not attend the prenatal care, or some people call it the antenatal care. These are going for clinics and checking if the BP is, which is the blood pressure, is okay, checking if the kid is okay, if the embryo is forming up well, if the health is okay, if there are any underlying issues. Because many a times people jump these stages. Not everyone, but some of them. Mostly those who are coming from the rural areas. Because of reasons, maybe the facilities, the health facilities are not closer to where they are coming from or where they are living. So it ends up them not having or not accessing a particular medication. So the underlying issues, for example, when you go to a theater or when you go to the maternal wing, maybe, I'm not so quite sure, but maybe some of these underlying issues, had it been that the doctors or the nurses in that particular room had your file or noticed it, that these are the underlying issues, maybe you could have been saved. Then we have the PPH, post-hemorrhage, where it's excessive blood loss. Now, also, these are also caused by human error because most of these facilities do not have the necessary kits to check the blood loss that an individual has lost. Remember, whether they've gone through CS or whether they've delivered normally, there's still some pints of blood a lady, a woman will lose. I've seen some technology nowadays as advanced. Some bags are being put where the blood is being collected. So to check the milliliters, as there's a certain millimeter of blood, if you pass that mark, if you pass like the red line, they know you've started losing excessive blood. And definitely the necessary actions will be taken. Some human errors also are things like, you find that you've gone to a maternal wing and the person who's attending to you, they tend to jump some procedures. They tend to assume. I don't know how true that is, but to some extent, I do believe these things do happen. For example, maybe they never checked your history. Where were you? Did you really attend the necessary clinical sessions? How long? What's the duration of your pregnancy? When are you due? ABCD, etc. Because of most of these facilities are usually hungry for money, they just admit you in their hospital or their facilities or in the maternal wing. Just because you have done your calculation and to some extent a give or take, maybe you're supposed to give birth end of this month. So the last week of the month, you're just there. It is argumentative. I know it is very argumentative because there's no data to prove this, but human error, usually most of the time there's no usually data. I've heard of cases where some women don't even want to attend. Once they don't want to attend this prenatal care, they even give birth back at home with midwives, etc. So what are some of the measures? What are some of the health measures they take, like how to cut the umbilical cord, how to wrap the baby, the kind of injection you're required? There are a lot of moving pieces and parts in this particular issue. Now, there's another cause of now this is negligence on the part of these health facilities. And as I said in my previous video, they range from these facilities, they don't have a proper, well-equipped maternal wing. They just assume maybe it's a bed that's supposed to be there. And a few they don't have what you call the oxygen tanks. Some of them will not find they have those bags that carry the blood loss, the blood that a patient has lost. Some of them don't even have an ambulance standing there, standby, just in case. Some of them are not well equipped with the staff. The staff, maybe they worked overnight, so they are understaffed. Some of them, even these staff that are there, do not know how to use these equipments. Like for my case, I was so surprised the gynae has to be called, meaning it's only one gynae in the whole hospital. I wasn't getting. Most of these things can be avoided. Yes, I know some people said, do I have to be checking if they have a gynae on standby, or do I have my own personal gynae? How do I go checking on that particular hospital? Let me ask you, people of the internet. And for those who are joining in for the first time, my name is Kunguru87. Thank you very much for subscribing and liking. Kindly do share this particular video so that it can reach a very, very wide scope and wide community, because some of these things, men, we really need to come and sit down and talk about them. It's just right in front of our eyes. Back to our video. Now, when you're looking for a school for your kid, I'm so certain most of the times you should go and check the washroom. Most of the time you'll find someone who is going to check the kind of food they're taking. You're taking those precautions. You can't check the quantity or the number of students who are in that particular class. So the question I ask myself is, how come we do not want to check on these particular facilities? How come we do not want to check in these particular hospitals? Why do you tend to assume? When you want to take your wife, people of internet, when you want to take your sister, when you want to take your mom, when you want to take your friend, just do a background check of this particular facility. Man, let us not go to a facility because it's just next to our house. You know, most of these cases can be avoided because according to the World Health Organization, most of the human errors can be avoided. A human error is negligence. You don't know the rapport, you don't know the history of this particular facility. You don't know what usually happens just because they have a maternal wing. I remember sometimes I went to another hospital and you know, most women or most ladies, they like being in a maternity wing for like, is it 2 or 3 days? You'll find someone that's just given birth, a week later they're still there. It's because that maternal wing is very, very idle. There are more than 20 beds, but it's only one patient. Have you ever asked yourself why? It's not because of the cost, definitely. It was just an average hospital. So these cases are, what really happens? Do you usually check like, how is your maternal wing? How well prepared you guys? Do you refer people to other hospitals in case of any emergencies? Because, you know, giving birth is a matter of life and death. We cannot take it as a joke. Huh? So it is quite a very a vital thing that, ladies and gentlemen, people of the internet, we really need to work on. Check on this particular hospital, check their history, check their maternal wing history, get ideas. Nowadays we have technology on your phones. You can check the history, you can check the social sites, the reviews. Yeah, that's the term I was looking for. Ask a friend of a friend, what kind of hospital do you think is the best? Let us not assume. Let's try to save our women. Also, we need to know that according to the World Health Organization, as much as we are saying most of these human errors can be avoided, some data are not even reported. Like I repeat once again, like in Kenya, to be specific, that's in the Eastern Africa, a give or take 2 women die each and every day because of PPH or because of maternal mortality. If you go and try to filter in the real causes, most of them are human errors. They're not natural causes. They're not underlying issues. Yes, You've brought your wife, you've brought your sister to the hospital. I do believe in my own conscience that it's upon the hospital to do these reviews, to ask these questions. Where have you been going and attending your antenatal care? Do you have any underlying issues? Do you have like pressure-related issues? Do you have like do you have like high blood pressure issues? You know, let's not tend to assume most of these items or most of these factors, because it is if we tend to assume them, we are heading in the wrong direction. What am I trying to say? Maternal care is very important. It's a matter of life and death. People of the internet, let's educate ourselves. Let's speak outside there. Let's engage with a lot of people. I feel so bad, I feel so hurt when women are just dying and no one is really bothered. No one is really bothered. There are some countries that have brought their numbers to a very bare minimum. Yes, it's not too good, but still they've brought those numbers very down. An example is like Tanzania, Rwanda. What of us in Kenya? What of some countries in Africa? Some countries in the Western Africa, their numbers go up to 1,000 yearly. Meaning, a give or take, they lose approximately 3 to 4 women on a daily basis. People of the internet, that's unacceptable. We need to do something about it. We need to do something about it. Because remember, when you keep quiet, somebody somewhere will not know. Hence, that's a loss of life. In the next video, we'll be talking about how well can we circumvent this? How well can we educate our brothers and sisters about this issue? Thank you very much. Check you out in the next video. Peace.